TLDR, as you can see, I really miss the battle bus style. I feel for the new players who will never get to enjoy Battle Sundays. It was also my preferred playstyle. I was lucky that I got to do Battle Sundays. I loved training new battle bus drivers. Even at their peak, Sundays were easy to kill by vets. The thing is that 99% of people didn't know how to do it. One of my favourite Sunday nerf example is the second floor tech plant Sunday. They made it so that you can't get Sunday on the second floor in Endar, but now it really does not matter if you do, one LA will kill it easy. I tried quite a few times to see how long it would last. After the LA rockets, it was GG. The thing with those rockets or AV SAW is that it resets the shield, which is the most common one to use. So now, you can keep the shield down from sniper distances and wait until some brave dude finishes it. The shield is useless, the buff is worthless to it. XD face. No need to carry secondary bolt weapon plus auto supply implant will make it easier for HA to deal with Sundays too. I really loved Battle Sundays. It was the only way of play that had an impact on live play, that was fun and required some actual coordination and teamwork, not like this bullshit, let's drop on A point and defend it and then redeploy. This tactic was used very little because it was really hard to pull off. Battle Sundays to do right is really hard, and requires all BR100 team who are all vehicle players. If you get good infantry players in those squads, they just don't know what to do when shit goes south, and telling people what to do costs time. They were really good at farming, sure, but pro players could stop any battle bus easy, even before the nerfs. I just enjoyed the fact that anybody below BR100 just didn't know how to. The main reason is that people didn't fight battle buses every day, so they didn't know what the fuck to do. Battle Sunday crews were really damn rare. I did battle bus every day, and only 3 or 4 in 1 year did I see crews who were any good, and even they were not dedicated, because they used infantry players as drivers, XD face. They were more like cheese crews. And I started doing battle bus once I saw an outfit who did battle bus 1 week every day, and I had to fight against them. It was a nightmare. Then I was like, fucking a man, this shit works, so let's do this. Only then I discovered how crazy hard it was, XD face, really to do it as well. That's why when people who see effective crews just don't jump into Sunday and do the same. It takes good communication and raw knowledge of the game and pure skill. It took me months of training every day to get good. What I also loved about this Sunday game is that you could have 2 new players as your gunners, and it was nice to introduce them to the game this way. They got XP and kills, while I kept them alive, XD face. So it was synergy. I could pick up any noobs and train them to be better gunners. You can't do that in Harasser or MBT, because gunners have to be the very best you can find, or you'll be ripping your hair out. So if you had 2 good drivers, you could do double rep bus with 4 total noob gunners. Now 4 noob gunners did a ton of damage, XD face. Like tanks blew up instantly. All the drivers had to do was get in position and not die. That not dying part was super hard, even with double rep buses. 3 rep buses problem is rep stacking. So 1 driver don't get XP unless you set up in circular faction, which is almost impossible, and then you can get out of rep range and 1 driver loses again rep XP. So it was beneficial to have 2 rep buses with very skilled drivers, and have a 3rd guy in a tank if he was a vehicle player, or a gunner if he's infantry player. Harassers plus rebuses had super good synergy. In every vehicle battle, repair buses decided the winner. That is how it was. The faction with most and best rep drivers supporting skilled tank drivers made a world of difference, because you could survive against really bad odds when enemy didn't have the same skill to match. You can't just park the rep Sunday then deploy it. You actually have to drive it to keep people alive who were overextended, for example. When it came to vehicle play tactics, repair Sundays were so much fun to play. There is nothing in the game right now that would match this level of tactical options. You are very limited in tank. For 100 or 200 nanites, rep buses were really cheap, so you could push and try very different things and take risks, which was super fun. Because of this, I could come up with new fun thing to try almost every day. Only problem I faced is that there were not enough players around who would be skilled Sunday drivers. This is what most people didn't get, that it takes as much skill as a driver as it does in H, maybe even more. It's like the skill level of those CQC bolt infiltrators. Yes, you can one-shot kill HA with bolts from 5 meters, but it only matters if you can actually do it and constantly. Same is with Sundays, if feel like. They pay off when you get really good at driving them, but there is a very wide skill gap from noob to pro. So most people are in that gap of skill and can't pull off cool tactical feats. I was so serious about this that I had as much functions on my mouse, like seat switching and reloading plus macros, like seat swap plus auto reload, etc. And then I could keep my left hand at driving ready at all times, XD face. In fact, I was so serious about this that I figured out how to own 2 Sundays at the same time, so I had 2 Sundays that both made repair XP, then I had to keep them functioning. Usually, I did that next to base shields. So when LA tried to kill one of my Sundays, I had my Cobalt Sunday ready. Like one of the Sundays was bait, and I was solo driving the other one. Now it's all gone. Have not tested, but they even fixed the bug that allowed to own 2 Sundays. Have not tested after Kai. I was so serious that when I did 2 times rep bus crews, I ordered the other driver to have Sunday that looked exactly like mine, so enemy could not figure out which is which, and focus when we swap places for damage sharing. In fact, I started to use regular looking Sundays even on Esamir, so that I could blend in with noobs better, so enemy would have harder time thinking, shit, these guys again. That allowed me the luxury of enemy underestimating me very often. When you see blinged out gear, you know the guys are good. Nobody who is not seriously good will spend money on shit. In fact, I loved focusing blinged out vehicles, XD. To bling was prohibited in my squads. That is how serious I was, XD face. It was really difficult and fun thing to do in game. Battle Bus Sundays, that is. None of the new players will ever get to experience that joy. Thing with that playstyle was that it had a smooth learning curve. New players could start out as rep Sundays, help vet players tank, and make some XP for certs to get new shit easy. I trained many drivers who had problems shooting in the game. Some people have conditions that make their hand twitchy and hand coordination problems, and then they can only do support tasks. I trained a couple of people like that to be my second repair Sunday. They could not play FPS because of their condition, now they are all fucked. So the learning curve was rather smooth with me, teaching them if they're willing to put in the time. Now, the only other style of play that gives me the same level of rush is flying. And flying is very far from smooth learning curve, XD, so there is no training of new players. Every pilot has to get good solo, essentially because there is no other way. You don't get good flying in packs, but fighting solo against those packs. Happy face. I can't train new lib gunners or pilots, it's all solo effort. Sunday driving was the only exception. Why? Because 2 rep Sundays are identical. You need 2 people who are totally in sync in thought and body. XD face. Teaching that is much more enjoyable. And you could have an effective crew of up to 6 people in battle bus style. Flying, however, is much more individual, even in gank packs. You can't have individual aces in battle bus crews. If one man goes down, the whole thing goes down. Victory feels much more like a team victory, unlike air team fights. RIP Battle Bus. All the Sunday drivers should get together and say a few words in memory of the bus style. Falling to my knees, looking up at the sky and screaming, "Why?" with little tear falling down my cheek. That is how I feel now.